Right then, here we go. Celtic season is now officially rolling, and with that, we get to dive into the kind of chat we've all been itching for. No more preseason what-ifs or transfer gossip in isolation. Now it's about performances real. Matches, results, and everything in between. So let's unpack all of it. The Champions League draw to St. Mirren game squad concerns player performances and what it all tells us about where Celtic stand as we aim to make this season count. Let's start with the big one, the UEFA Champions League playoff draw. We finally know, or almost know, who stands in our way between now and the promised land of the group stage. Roughly £4 million on the line and a ticket to dine at European football's top table. And the answer Slovan Bratislava or KEITA Almaty. Yes, it's down to those two. And depending on how their third qualifying round plays out over the next week, Celtic will face one of them in a two-legged tie starting on the 20th of August. Now, let's not kid ourselves. Both of these ties come with challenges. Very different ones granted, but challenges are all the same. If it ends up being KEITA, we're talking about a trip to Kazakhstan, and that's no hop over the channel. It's a brutal journey nearly halfway to Australia from Glasgow. We're talking time zones, recovery management, training adjustments, the whole package. It's a logistical puzzle. But here's the thing, Celtic have been to Kazakhstan before. In fact, we've had 3 visits in the last decade or so. We know what it's like. We've played teams like Shakhtar Karagandhi and Astana, and we've learned a lot from those trips, both the right way and the hard way. So while it's daunting, it's not unfamiliar. Rogers Kennedy and the rest of the backroom staff will know exactly how to approach that tie if it comes to it. On the other hand, if it's Slovan Bratislava, a team with European pedigree and a bit of history with us, then you're dealing with a different kind of test. A side that, should they beat KEITA, will have won 6 straight qualifying ties. That's no joke. It means they're battle-tested, they know how to manage the pressure over 2 legs, and crucially, they're not intimidated by the occasion. And that's something Celtic have to be aware of. You don't get to the playoff round by fluke. Whoever we face, they'll have earned it. But here's the honest truth, and it might sting a bit. If Celtic can't get past either of these sides, then we really don't belong in the Champions League group stage. It's as simple as that. Not because Slovan or KEITA are walkovers. They're not. But because for a club like Celtic, with the players we have and the ambitions we keep shouting about, these are ties we have to win. Not should win, but I have to win. Anything less and it's just not good enough. Now the first leg is at Celtic Park on Wednesday the 20th of August, 8 o'clock kickoff. Second leg away from home the following Tuesday. And if it ends up being Kazakhstan, expect that kickoff to be shifted earlier, because midnight starts in Almaty just aren't happening. At least we hope not. And that brings us to another small but significant detail. The Scottish Premiership has actually introduced a smart policy this season that could help Celtic in a big way. Any team in the playoff round of European qualifiers can now ask for their league match between the 2 legs to be postponed. And they don't even need the other team's permission. For us, that's a home game against Livingston on the 23rd. Now we've not heard whether Celtic will actually take that option, but in all honesty, they probably should. With players like Alistair Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Kieran Tierney still working their way back to full fitness, reducing risk is key. That few extra days of rest and focused prep could make a big difference. Yes, I get the argument that playing more games helps build rhythm, gets match fitness up, etc. But if we're being cold and clinical about it, and we should be, it's about putting every possible piece in place to qualify for the Champions League. That's the priority. And anyway, it's not like we'd be pushing the Livingston match to February or March. The SPFL already said any rescheduled game has to be played before the end of September. So no fixture pile-up dramas. Just common sense. Switching gears slightly, let's talk about Sunday. The St. Mirren game. Not one for the ages, let's be honest. It was a slog at times, a bit of a grind, and certainly not the kind of attacking football we all want to see week in, week out. But still a win. I'm watching the game back without the stress and emotion of live viewing. It's easier to spot a few things that might have been missed in the moment. One of the big positives, Kieran Tierney. First half especially, he was absolutely electric. Surging forward, creating chances, having shots himself. He could have easily had a couple of assists if the finishing had been sharper. That link up with Maida still needs work for sure, but you can already see the blueprint. Tierney making those aggressive overlaps made her drifting inside. It could cause all sorts of problems for opponents once the chemistry clicks. And it will click, that's not a question. Alistair Johnston deserves a mention too. Better than he was given credit for initially. Still playing in that inverted fullback role coming into midfield, helping with ball circulation. Completely different style to Tierney's up and down approach on the left, but it's good to have both dimensions. You can see what Brendan's trying to build, balance and unpredictability. Now defensively, Celtic actually looks solid. Liam Scales and Cameron Carter-Vickers were reliable. Calm composed made the right choices. The issues came further up. The pitch, the midfield for one fell off. Hatate got involved plenty, but just couldn't find that final ball. McGregor was steady to his job, but the fluidity wasn't there. And Negron, yeah, not his best day. After such a bright preseason, it felt like a bit of a step back. But again, first proper game, big crowd, physical Scottish football. It's understandable. He'll adapt. He'll find his feet. And let's not ignore the forward line. Yang really struggled to impose himself. And as for Adam Ida, look, he's not hopeless. He's just not supposed to be Celtic's first choice striker. That's not his role. He's a finisher, a contributor, a squad option. And yes, he did score 20 goals last season, and you can't fake that. But when you watch him closely, you can see the limitations. His hold-up play, his touch, his decision-making. It's not at the level it needs to be. He's a good option off the bench, someone to bring on when chasing a game or rotating midweek. But Celtic need a proper number 9, a starter, a difference maker. This leads us to the bigger issue, and it's been brewing for a while. Recruitment, squad balance, depth. For all the noise that's been made over the last year about backing Brendan Rodgers and giving him the tools, we're still waiting for those Brendan players to arrive. The kind of signings that carry his stamp, his identity. Right now, most of the key players we're relying on, Johnston, Carter, Vickers, Hatate, Maida, are all from the Ange Postecoglou era. Even Callum McGregor, who's obviously from before. But the point is, Rodgers needs his guys. He needs players that he trusts that fit his system from day one. JSP looks like a good signing, and fingers crossed that deal is officially done by the time you're hearing this. But that's not enough. Celtic need 2, 3, maybe even 4 more players who walk into the starting 11. A proper striker. A left back to support Tierney, a right winger with end product, and probably a creative midfielder who can unlock tight defenses. And no, Liam Scales cannot be the backup left back. That's madness. He's a centre back, plain and simple. He's done a job there before, yes, but that's not the solution. If Kieran Tierney has cramp after one league match, it's clear he's not going to play every single week. We need proper depth, real options, the kind of bench that wins you matches when things aren't going to plan. And it's not just about having bodies, it's about quality. We can't afford another window where the club signs 6 or 7 players and only one ends up being a starter. That's not good enough anymore. Not when the margins are this fine, not when the Champions League is on the line, and not when we've got Rangers breathing down our neck domestically. But let's give credit where it's due. The team kept pushing on Sunday. It wasn't free-flowing football. It wasn't a storm of shots or wave after wave of pressure. But they didn't panic. They didn't resort to lumping it. They stuck to their structure. Believed the chance would come. And when it finally did, that late winner, you could feel the release of Celtic Park. It mattered a lot, especially after last season where every single home win came by at least 2. Goals. We didn't have any of these nerve-shredding 1-goal wins, so this was new, and it felt good. Supporters stuck with the team as well, that's worth saying. Given all the noise around the club, the transfer frustrations, the doubts over whether the board are truly backing Brendan, it would have been easy for the atmosphere to turn. But it didn't. The fans were there all the way through, and the players responded. So yeah, that's where we're at. 1 game into the league, 1 eye on Europe, and a lot of unanswered questions hanging in the air. But here's the thing. It's still all to play for. Still time to fix the gaps. Still time to build a squad capable of doing damage. But that time is running out. And if the club's serious about making this a special season, they need to act like it. Now. Let's pick up right where we left off, because there's a lot more to unpack. After all, we're only 1 competitive match into the season, and already the conversation surrounding Celtic is full of tension, excitement, and let's be honest, a fair bit of frustration. And it all comes down to the same underlying point: this squad is not finished, not even close. And the worry isn't just that it's incomplete. It's that we're heading into crucial European fixtures, the most lucrative and reputation-defining of the season, without the kind of firepower and depth we know we'll need to get through. We've talked about needing a striker, but really it's bigger than that. It's not just that we need a striker, it's that Celtic are trying to operate at a Champions League level with an attack that wouldn't intimidate most Europa League. Defenses right now, that's the truth. Young Negron, even Ida, they all might have potential, but right now potential won't win you knockout football. It won't make you deadly in the final third when the pressure's on and the margins are razor thin. And that's the frustration so many fans are feeling. Brendan Rodgers is in his second spell. He knows what this club can achieve when it's properly supported. But he's also no magician. He needs the players. What's worrying isn't just a lack of additions, it's that some of the recent ones don't even seem to be in the picture. Shin Yamada and Anamura, for example. We're hearing whispers already. Are these club signings? Or are they pushed through without Brendan's full approval? Are they going to be part of the plan or just filling a squad number? When Kenny is getting subbed on ahead of Yamada in a match where we're chasing a goal that raises eyebrows. Not because Kenny doesn't deserve a shot, he's been decent in preseason, but because Yamada looked like a real attacking asset when he arrived. He offers something different, a bit of sharpness, a bit of instinct in the box. So, he's not even making the cut off the bench, you start to wonder. And Anamura, he didn't even make the squad for St. Mirren. That's a summer signing already on the outside looking in. No injury report, no explanation, just not included. And the conversation turns again to the question of position. Is he a left back? Is he a center back? He played left back in preseason, but maybe that was just out of necessity because Tierney wasn't fit. And we had no other options. In Japan, Anamura was a center back. So what's the plan if Tierney goes down? And he will at some point because the signs are already there. Are we really prepared? Is the club ready to trust someone they've not even named on the bench? Or are we hoping Liam Scales can become a makeshift fullback again? Because if that's the plan, it's not a plan. It's a gamble. And that's the key issue of the club. Looks like it's gambling. Gambling on players staying fit. Gambling on Rodgers turning water into wine. Gambling on prospects instead of finished products. But we've seen that script before. It's not enough to get you through tough away ties in Bratislava or Almaty. It's not enough to get you out of a Champions League group. And it's certainly not enough to win a league against a Rangers side that, for all their own inconsistencies, have gone out unspent. Not always wisely, but aggressively. And yet, even with all these frustrations, even with all these holes, the team showed something important on Sunday, a refusal to settle. There's something in this squad, even as it is. That late winner against St. Mirren didn't just rescue 2 points. It said something about the mentality, the belief. The willingness to keep pushing even when it's not clicking. That's not nothing. That's not just luck or chaos. It comes from somewhere. It comes from standards, from leadership, from a group that, for all its flaws, still believes it can win. Callum McGregor deserves credit for that. He's not been perfect. No one has. But the way he drives this team forward in tight matches is massive. The disallowed goal, the way he keeps possession, ticking his constant scanning of space, that's a captain's influence. It sets the tone. And alongside him, you've got Carter. Having him back is like a signing in itself. The defense looks more composed with him there, more sure of itself. Add in the energy of Tierney, the return of Johnston, and it's clear the foundation is there. It's not the full picture, but it's a strong core. What we're missing is the spark, the flair, the cutting edge. We're missing a player who makes defenders uncomfortable, someone who can turn a game with one movement, one cross, one bit of brilliance. We need a Jota-type figure. That's the truth. Someone defenders fear. And right now, we don't have that. Yang might become that, but he's not there yet. Negro might adapt, but it'll take time. Abada injuries and inconsistency have knocked him back. And Maida, for all his work rate and movement, isn't going to give you 20 goals or that killer moment in the final third. Not consistently. Not at this level. And then there's Ada. A lot of fans have already made up their minds. Some think he's not good enough. Others point to the goals he scored last season. But maybe the answer lies in the middle. He's not useless. Far from it. But he's also not the man to lead the line in a Champions League qualifier or in a tight old firm match. He can finish, yes. But his first touch, his awareness, his link-up play, it's not there. Not enough to make Celtic dangerous in the way we need to be. If KEITA is your number 2, you're in a decent spot. But if he's your number 1 heading into the biggest games of the year, then that's on the club, not the player. And what about the bench? Look at who we had available. That tells you everything. No depth, no game changers. And if we don't fix that by the end of August, we're going to pay for it. Not just in Europe, but domestically too. Because the league will be tight. Rangers have dropped points already, but they'll come back. They'll find a rhythm. And Celtic can't afford to sleepwalk through the early part of the season, hoping to peak in November. That's how titles get lost. Now, in terms of European perception, it's interesting to note how Slovan Bratislava's media reacted to the draw. They didn't want Celtic. That says a lot. A few years ago, Celtic were the team you wanted to draw in qualifying. Big name, big stadium, but beatable. That's changed. Now we're the ones to avoid. That's down to last season's performances. That battle with Bayern Munich, the run in Europe. We've earned respect again, but respect doesn't win matches. Quality does. And we're still short in that department. And if we're being blunt, the board needs to look in the mirror. There's a pattern here. Slow starts in the transfer window, last-minute business, and a tendency to hoard money instead of investing it smartly. The idea that Celtic can afford to wait until after qualification to spend is madness. That's not how elite football works. You spend to qualify, not if you qualify. You build a squad for the challenge before the challenge arrives. Otherwise, it's just reactive, not strategic. And the fans see that. They're not stupid. They know what's needed. And they're starting to lose patience because there's a real opportunity this season. The league is there to be won again. The Champions League group stage is within touching distance. The infrastructure is strong. The manager has a vision. But it's all being held back by indecision and delay. And you can't keep asking Rodgers to spin plates with one hand tied behind his back. He needs weapons. Not just players, but game changers, leaders, match winners. The kind that Celtic used to sign without blinking. Now we wait, we hesitate, and we end up scrambling in the final week of the window. There's still time. The next few weeks will be decisive. If the club brings in a top-level striker, a proper winger, another fullback, and maybe a midfielder, then suddenly this squad looks ready. Suddenly you're not relying on Adam Ida to lead the line in Europe. Suddenly you've got rotation options, different looks for different matches. And most importantly, you've got confidence from the fans, from the players, and from the manager. But it has to happen now, not next month, not after we've been knocked out of Europe or dropped points in the league. Right now. Because the signs are already there, the wear and tear, the injuries, the fact that a player like Kieran Tierney, after one full 90, is already struggling with cramp. That's not surprising. That's who he is now. An outstanding talent, but someone who needs managed. And if you don't manage him with the right backup with real depth, then you burn him out and you lose the very edge you're trying to build. The same applies across the park. Carter Vickers can't be rushed. Johnston needs time. Even McGregor, who seems indestructible, needs rest eventually. The squad has to carry the load. Together! You can't ask the same 11 to do it all from August to May. Not with Europe, not with domestic cups, not with the intensity this season will bring. So where do we go from here? Sunday against Aberdeen will tell us a bit more. It's an away day early in the season, and they'll be looking to bounce back after a poor result. It's a chance to see how far we've come in a week, whether the attack can gel, whether Negron can step up, whether Rodgers makes tweaks to the starting 11. It's also the kind of match that sets the tone, win convincingly, and you build momentum. Struggle, and the questions grow louder. For now, the message is clear. Celtic have a good team, a solid base, but it's not enough yet. And with the season now moving at full speed, the window to act is getting smaller by the day. There's no hiding from it. If the club wants to match Brendan Rodgers' ambition, if it wants to give this group a real shot at something special, then it needs to move decisively and with purpose. Because if they get this right, if the right players arrive, if the squad is rounded out with the quality it needs, then this could be the start of something brilliant. A real run in Europe. Another league title. A team that fans feel proud of, not just for what they've done in the past, but for what they're doing right now. It's all possible. But possibility only becomes reality if you act. The board have the funds, the manager has the plan, the fans have the belief. All that's left is for the club to actually make it happen. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. In a surprising turn of events that's sparking whispers all across Scottish football, there's talk that Celtic may have secured a monumental signing in the form of Japanese sensation Keta Kusugi. Though the club has not issued an official announcement as of yet, sources close to Parkhead suggest that a deal has been all but finalized and the player is expected to be unveiled in the coming days. Kosugi, a name that's been circulating in Asian football circles for quite some time, is rumored to be Celtic's next big leap into the thriving Far East market. The move, if confirmed, would signal Celtic's continued ambition to tap into the region's commercial and footballing potential. The Japanese midfielder, known for his lightning-quick pace, elegant technique, and tactical intelligence, is believed to be a player perfectly suited to Brendan Rodgers' evolving system. His potential arrival could bring a fresh spark to Celtic's midfield and further deepen the club's growing connection to Asia. While many are eager for confirmation, what's clear is that the rumor mill is spinning at full force, and fans are left wondering if Celtic have once again pulled off a masterstroke in their international recruitment strategy. The buzz is only getting louder with each passing hour. Keta Kusugi's possible arrival at Celtic Park is being framed by insiders as more than just a sporting acquisition. It's a calculated strategic move aimed at expanding the club's footprint in Asia. If this deal does indeed materialize, it could have massive implications for Celtic's brand recognition, merchandising opportunities, and supporter engagement throughout Japan and its neighboring footballing markets. Similar to the impact Shunsuke Nakamura had during his time in Glasgow, Kosugi's signature could reignite an era of Asian fandom for the Hoops. The Japanese market has long proven to be commercially lucrative, and clubs across Europe are increasingly eyeing it as a channel for growth. While details remain under wraps, it's said that Kosugi's representatives have been in Glasgow in recent weeks, fueling speculation that negotiations have entered their final phase. Observers believe that the presence of other Japanese players in the Celtic squad could serve as a decisive factor in Kosugi's integration both on and off the pitch. With social media alight and fan forums buzzing, the anticipation is palpable. Celtic supporters, always hungry for quality additions, are closely monitoring every development, clinging to hope that this emerging talent will soon be donning the famous green and white hoops in the Premiership. There are even murmurs suggesting that Kusugi has already undergone a low-profile medical in Glasgow under the radar, carefully orchestrated to avoid unnecessary attention. The club, known for its discretion in transfer dealings, has remained tight-lipped, adding to the mystery and intrigue. Journalists close to the club hint that an announcement could be timed to coincide with the upcoming fixture schedule, potentially boosting ticket sales and media attention. Kosugi's playing style is said to be a mix of explosive energy and composed decision-making, an ideal blend for the fast-paced nature of Scottish football. Speculation also surrounds the fee involved, with some suggesting a figure in the region of $2.5 million, which would represent a modest yet shrewd investment for a player of Kosugi's caliber. His current club, whose name remains undisclosed, for now, is rumored to have reluctantly agreed to the transfer following weeks of negotiations. Sources indicate that Celtic's persistence and the lure of European football played a decisive role in sealing the deal. Fans are already imagining potential midfield combinations and how Kosugi might slot into the lineup, drawing comparisons to past heroes and imagining the future of a squad laced with both talent and global flair. The timing of this rumored move is also intriguing, coinciding with Celtic's broader strategy of global outreach and squad revitalization under Rodgers' second tenure. The club's efforts to diversify its squad have been noticeable, and tapping into Asian talent pools has clearly become a defining feature of that strategy. If Kusugi indeed joins the club, he would be the latest in a line of Asian stars to make the leap to Scottish football via Celtic Park. Critics and supporters alike are watching with great interest to see whether Kosugi's transition will be seamless or a test of adaptation. While the Scottish Premiership presents physical and environmental challenges, previous Japanese signings have shown remarkable resilience and success, leading many to believe that Kusugi could be the next to follow in those footsteps. Behind the scenes, marketing experts are also preparing for the potential windfall, crafting campaigns that could feature Kusugi as the face of Celtic's Asian ambitions. In the football world, where perception often matches performance, this signing, if confirmed, might prove just as valuable off the pitch as on it. Whether this is a well-kept secret or just smoke without fire, the speculation has certainly achieved its goal. All eyes are now firmly fixed on Celtic. Ultimately, whether Keta Kusugi officially signs with Celtic or not, the rumors alone have reignited the age-old excitement that surrounds summer transfer windows. The idea of a player of his profile coming to Glasgow has sparked debates on pundit panels, fan forums, and social media feeds. Some remain cautiously optimistic, waiting for the official word from the club, while others are already embracing the buzz, convinced that Kusugi will soon be making his mark in the Scottish top flight. Beyond the footballing implications, this could symbolize a powerful connection between two cultures bound by a love for the game. In many ways, Kusugi represents not just a potential asset for the squad, but also a symbol of Celtic's evolving identity, ambitious, outward-looking, and ready to compete on a truly global stage. If the deal materializes, the excitement around Celtic Park will be justified. If it doesn't, then the mere possibility has proven that the club remains a force in shaping the imagination of fans, both at home and abroad. One thing is for certain, Celtic's name is echoing across Asia louder than it has in years, and the name Keta Kusugi is now forever tied to this thrilling chapter in the club's ever-unfolding story. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.